Hi, my name is Julia Drake, and today I'm going to be doing my informative speech on the Roman Colosseum. Did you know that, according to National Geographic's The Colosseum, that it is the most visited tourist attraction in Rome? The Roman Colosseum is one of the most impressive ancient monuments to be built, and it has a lot of rich history behind it. I will be discussing 3 main points or facts about the Colosseum, followed by subpoints. The Colosseum is one of the most impressive ancient monuments to be built. Once the plans for the Colosseum were complete, it was time for the building process to begin. Even though the architects knew how they were going to build it, it was very tough for them to figure out the exact process behind it. According to History.com's editors, Colosseum, they were able to use the hilly landscape to help support and structure the Colosseum. So you might be wondering just how big it is. The Colosseum is 620 by 513 feet, making it 4 stories high. It could hold up to more than 50,000 people. This is very impressive for an ancient monument just built between the years of 70 to 72 CE. This would then be big enough to hold the gladiator fights and wild animal fights they would have here. The Colosseum was used for entertainment, where gladiator fights would take place, along with festivities and events. Gladiator fights were the most used source of entertainment, not only in the Colosseum, but throughout Italy during this time, according to Mark Cartwright's Roman Gladiator, published in 2018. Gladiators were slaves, criminals, prisoners of war, but they were also the people who helped build the Colosseum. If a gladiator was great and won many fights, they would have the chance to eventually be set free, or even earn money based on their winnings. This would motivate the gladiators to keep winning, but above all, to survive. Although most gladiators were men, there were also some women as well. This is because the emperor enjoyed to watch the women fight too. The gladiators also had to swear to an oath agreeing to the training that they would have to take. For example, this could include being burned, beaten, or chained up. Although the fights were very exhilarating, on the day leading up to the fights, there were fun activities held. Often fights were held on national holidays, so it was a celebration to the Romans. On the day of a fight, big parades would go through the city of Rome, getting people excited. According to Deborah Mitchell and Peter Dennis's Gladiator, the Romans would also make bets on who they thought would win these fights based on how they looked in the parades. On the day of the fights, the emperor would choose one loser and one winner. If both gladiators were alive at the end of a fight or were too tired to continue fighting, it was up to the emperor to decide their fate. According to Mark Cartwright's Roman Gladiator, often the loser in a fight would put down their weapons and their shield and beg for mercy for the emperor to keep their life. Eventually, the Roman Empire fell. After 4 centuries of entertainment, the Colosseum began to fall. According to Geographic Society's The Colosseum, after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Colosseum started to deteriorate due to lack of interest. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the Romans also fled for a very long time from the area. Eventually, the Colosseum started to deteriorate, and due to non-upkeep and natural disasters, it began to fall apart. It was not until 1990 when the restoration process began. Nearly 2/3 of the Colosseum was destroyed by this point, but the Romans believed that they should invest in it and restore it. It was a big part of their history. Today, the Colosseum is still up and strong. Many people travel to visit the Colosseum from all over the world. There have also been many movies based off of the gladiators that fought in Rome as well in this Colosseum, such as the popular one, The Gladiator. In review, we talked about the history behind building the Colosseum and how big the amphitheater actually is, along with what kind of events took place in this amphitheater. This would be the gladiators fighting to their possible and inevitable death, and the celebrations the Romans would have on the day leading up to these fights to celebrate and get Rome pumped up. And lastly, we discussed how the Colosseum is still up and running today, and many people travel from all over to visit it, along with some people I know who have said it's very interesting and very cool. So I hope you learned a little bit from my speech and about the Colosseum, and if not, I hope it encourages you to learn something new. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't seen The Gladiator, I suggest you watch it. It's a great movie. Thank you.